Excuse me. Beloved, we got to be careful who we mix and mingle with, right? We got to be careful because it's dangerous out here, right? Not to say that we're in danger, we're not, right? We're protected at all times, right? But we still have to make the right decisions, right? Take the right course of actions and use our discernment, right? I'm hearing more and more stories of people losing their lives for other people's insecurities, for other people's lack of self growth and development, and taking accountability for themselves, right? There was a young girl that got murdered, stabbed to death on a bus because some guy tried to holler at her and she politely, you know, um, not, I don't want to use the word shot him down, rejected. She politely rejected his advancement, right? Or advance, however you say that. She rejected his advance, right? She wasn't interested, okay? And the man stabs her to death on a bus. On a bus. Beloved, this is the generation that we live in now. People's parents or lack thereof did not raise them to be able to deal with rejection, to deal with the word no, to deal with um their emotions. Right? That's what happens when you always tell a kid to shut up, stop crying. You not hurt. That don't hurt you. You don't know that. Obviously it does. They're crying. That is a breeding ground for a narcissist. That is a breeding ground for toxicity. If you're not taught how to deal with rejection, how to deal with your emotions, how to deal with the word no, hearing no, you're not taught how to deal with that efficiently when you are a child, you will be that child when you are older throughout your life. Yeah, your age will be 34, 53, 27, but your emotional intelligence will be at 5 years old, 6 years old, whatever age that you should have learned it that you did not. Doesn't matter what the outside of you looks like or how you present yourself. As soon as you hear no, as soon as you hear something that you don't like and you take defensive, it could be somebody complimenting you. You'll take offense to that. Why? Because your thoughts, your mind, your process is messed up. It's toxic, debilitating, deficient of what it needs. 333 on my timer. That's why the Bible says, raise up a child in the way that they should go. And when they're older, they will never depart from it. Why? Because you've taught them at a young age. So it is instilled in them. It marinates in them. It grows within them. It grows to different levels of maturity, different milestones you hit when you're supposed to hit them. Why? Because you've had the emotional growth that you were supposed to have. Right? And it doesn't always take learning it or somebody teaching this to you, right? Like me, I learned a lot. Everything that I know about being a man, about being my own person, I learned that from my grandfather. My grandfather never had group thinking, even though he had a career in the military. He was not a group thinker. My grandfather was an individual thinker, individual person. If he wanted to do something, he did it. If he didn't, he did not. His yes was a yes and his no was a no. And he never budged from it. That's why my yeses are a yes and my no's are a no today. Why? Because I was taught that. I saw my grandfather do that, right? I saw my grandfather teach himself things. I saw him push himself to do new things. And I adopted that. I was taught that. I was around it. I saw it. And I grew up with it. And it never left me. Never. I always heard my grandfather's voice in my ear. Right? When I would do something not so great. Right? And when I did do things that were so great, I heard my grandfather's voice in my head. And I still do to this day. I'm thankful for that. I am. Because I could be like one of these people out here that just don't give a damn, and they're out here just doing whatever, whenever, however, and then blame other people from when their life goes down the drain. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. That wouldn't make sense to a child, so it doesn't make sense as an adult. A child even understands that. Hey, you do this, this is going to happen. Hey, you touch this hot eye on the stove, you're going to burn your hand. Right? More times than not, that child is going to learn the hard way and burn their hand. Why? So they can experience it. So they can feel it. So that when they see a hot eye, they remember. It's etched in their brain, right? Muscle memory. They remember instantly what happened last time they touched that. Burned their hand, right? So we don't always learn when somebody's telling us. More times than not, we don't, right? We have to experience it ourselves, right? Which allows us to be able to tell somebody else, hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you, right? So in that sense, it does take a village to raise a child, right? And in other senses as well, right? So I love y'all. I hope that helped. Okay. And I'll holler at y'all later. All right, later. Peace.